Help them to reveal that this is the on to the future, committed and proud, inspired by our noble history, as we face the future now. Everybody! One day we stand together, long after the storm is done. When the world no longer watches, what must become? Somewhere in the always first, always ready, always The Red Cross band and tomorrow, always first, always ready, always there.
May I invite everyone to please recite with me the 7 fundamental principles of the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement. Humanity. We serve people but not systems. Impartiality. We care for victims without discrimination. Neutrality. We take initiatives but never sides. Independence. We bow to needs but not to any persons. Voluntary service. We work around the clock but never for personal gain. Unity. We have many talents for a single idea. Universality. We respect nations but our works no slogans. The 7 fundamental principles of the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement.
You may all take your seats. Thank you very much. And now, for our host this afternoon, may we all welcome Mr. Doug Valenciano.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Chairman, hello. Hi guys. Alright, being a fellow volunteer, being a fellow member, and a fellow donor as well, I'm very, very proud and honored and privileged to be here today to be part of something like this. This is actually my first time to be part of the International Volunteer Day, and it's super exciting because now we get to do this not just virtually but also live as well. But before we start, of course, we would like to acknowledge the guests that are here and of course the guests that are watching online. Of course, our Senator, our beloved Chairman and CEO, Richard J. Gordon. who happens to be a brother and a very good friend of my uncle, Senator Vico Pangilinan as well. And our movement partners, Alberto Bocanegra, Boris Michelle, Miladen Lilejevic, Paul Anthony Josu, Luis Carrasco, Kunali Mutahe, Minachu Dayton, and Richard Villana. Did I get everybody's names right? Alright, perfect, awesome. And of course, the PRC management team that made all this possible. Elizabeth S. Zavalia, Ramon Murillo, Dr. Christine Marina Navita, and the rest of the PRC management team. And of course, all of the chapters, the NCR, that are watching virtually. I think there are like around hundreds of people watching right now. Thank you so much for being here and being part of this volunteer day. And to formally begin this event, of course, we would like to call on our Secretary General, Madam Elizabeth S. Zavalia, for her welcome message.
Thank you, Bob. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. In celebration of the International Volunteer Day, again, I would like to acknowledge our colleagues from the RCR's movement. Of course, our chairman, Chairman and CEO, Senator Vic Gordon, Boris Alberto, Luis Laden, Richard, the ICRC delegation also were here, Molina, Esquimongo, the rest of the executive team, our chapters from the National Capital Region, together with your staff, together with your volunteers, and the rest of the chapters nationwide who are joining with us virtually. And to our friends from media, ABS-CBN, GMA7, Net25, and PTV4. A pleasant afternoon to everyone. At the heart of the Philippine Red Cross is a group of selfless individuals offering service without any desire for personal gain. These are our volunteers. Kayo po yun, working with an unwavering commitment to helping the most vulnerable. Kaya ko sinabi kayo, kahit tayo empleyado, kasi sobra-sobra yung serbisyo, walang Sabado at Linggo, walang gabi, kaya lahat tayo ay volunteers din, kahit na tayo ay empleyado. Wala tayong pinipili, bagyo, lindol, fire, flooding, vehicular accident, kahit anong klaseng emergencies, nandiyan ang mga volunteers. At kung matatandaan nyo, noong 2006, si Chairman, ginawa niya ang Red Cross 143. Iyon ang ating centerpiece sa volunteering program, kung saan gusto niya na sana mabuo natin na sa 42,000 barangays nationwide, magkaroon tayo ng 43+1 or 44 members. Merong training yon, may mga alam natin yung sa quadrant 11, 11, 11, 11 kung ano yung dapat na responsibilities. So, sa araw na to, bibigyan din natin ng special tribute. Hindi natin sila isa-isa i-acknowledge, but we would like to thank 2,871 individuals from all our chapters, from our partners, lahat ng tumulong in the last almost 2 years para dito sa lahat ng activities natin sa pandemic. From the testing, yung mga nasa ambulance, yung mga nag-duty sa field hospital, sa isolation facilities, nagbigay ng dugo, yung convalescent plasma, yung mga tumutulong sa vaccination, at nung umpisa pa, sa mga probinsya, wala talagang huminto. Nagtumutulong tayo sa border control, namimigay ng mask, nagtuturo ng hygiene, nagbibigay tayo ng PPE, tayo ay nagbibigay ng alcohol, tumulong tayo mag-set up ng tent sa iba't ibang ospital. Lahat na yan naging contribution, hindi lang ng mga empleyado ng Philippine Red Cross, kung hindi ng mga volunteers. So sa araw na ito, gusto namin kayong pasalamatan lahat. Yung mga nasa probinsya, na bahagi din ng programa na to, salamat sa inyong lahat. We could not thank you enough. Sa lahat ng binigay nyo, oras, talento, at kung minsan pati yung material na bagay pa, maraming salamat. Hindi lang ito ang araw para sa inyo. Halos lahat ng araw ay para sa mga volunteers dahil ang laging sinasabi ni Chairman sa atin, magiging foremost humanitarian organization lang tayo at magiging matatag ang ating organization kung talagang tayo ay magkakaroon ng tao on the ground na anytime nandoon makakapagbigay sa atin ng information sa nangyayari sa bawat lugar at makaka-react sa lahat ng emergencies. So again, thank you very much for all your services for humanity. Happy International Volunteers Day.
Thank you, SG Lisa. The word that actually stuck out for me was vulnerable. And being the National Red Cross Youth Ambassador for Mental Health, being vulnerable is something that we all find ourselves in every now and then. And we may know people. And so from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank the Philippine Red Cross for everything that you've done, not just for them, but for me as well, as it has helped me also grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Thank you very much. Now, bearing with the message of SG Lisa, let us watch this teaser video and look at the incredible and wonderful things that all of you have done. Watch this. What a beautiful video. As you guys can see, ang dami niyo natulungan, not just here in Manila, but all over the Philippines. Thank you for your service and for everything that you've done to the Filipino people. And of course, alam naman natin that Red Cross is not just in the Philippines, that this is an international partnership. And so, knowing that this event is not being observed domestically, we are also delighted that we have our head of country office of the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. Let us hear a message from Mr. Alberto Bocanegra.
Dear Chairman Gordon, dear Secretary General, Elizabeth, the members of the board, staff from the Philippine Red Cross, dear colleagues from the Department of National Societies, dear bodies from the International Committee of the Red Cross and colleagues from ICRC, and of course, my dearest volunteers. It is with a great feeling of proudness that I address you today, the International Volunteer Day. Your day, our day, a day where we feel proud and where we are proud to be members of the Red Cross and Red Crescent family. A day where we celebrate also our core principles and values, and a day when these values takes its proper meaning and its proper sense. It's been some years now that I'm working for the movement, and myself being also a volunteer. Allow me to say that it's thanks to you, volunteers, that we've been so successful in all the operations worldwide we've been carrying out, from floods, population movement, earthquake, droughts, epidemic, and with all types of actions, from food distribution, NFI distribution, support to health services, provision of water services, shelters, psychosocial support, and all these with a humble feeling of serving those in need, vulnerable people in distress that need assistance, and all these with the sole purpose to give the proper meaning to the word solidarity. More recently, our volunteers have been able to show their contribution to humanity in this global pandemic, where millions of volunteers have been mobilized to support the response. And the Philippine Red Cross has been an example for that, an inspiring example for this, where you've been from day one raising awareness, distributing PPEs, supporting testing process, assisting the public authorities in the vaccination campaigns, helping and facilitating the quarantine process, supporting blood donations. The list is so long that it will take me hours to enumerate them. This support received from the Philippine Red Cross has been another translation of the meaning we give to our core principles and values: humanity and the desire to bring assistance with the sole purpose to prevent and alleviate human suffering; impartiality, for no discrimination to race, religion, class, or political opinions; neutrality, as we do not take sides in hostilities or engage at any time in controversies; independence, as we maintain our autonomy to be able at all times to act in accordance with the principles of the movement; universality, unity, working as one; and of course, voluntary service, with the sole aim to help others without any intention of reward. This is the sense and the willingness that we have and that defines us as volunteers. Dear colleagues, volunteers are essential for a strong national society. They describe our identity and willingness to respond to humanitarian needs and guide us towards an excellency model. For the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, our Strategy 2030 emphasizes volunteering as one of the key transformations, which is required for us to be able to respond to future challenges. And in this sense, we commit to reimagining volunteering and to take the measures to generate a healthy and sustainable increase in engagement, motivation, and retention of volunteers in national society. Dear colleagues, volunteering is constantly changing. The ways people want to volunteer is rapidly transforming. Globalization and technological development and connectivity is also spreading our message. Volunteer development needs to be adapted to the skills and interests of volunteers, rather than serve as a reaction network. And in this sense, it is our responsibility as managers to support our leadership, creating every measure for inclusive, safe, secure, and innovative engagement. We need to ensure that volunteers participate in program development in the national societies, they take decisions, and they play a key role in the governance. From the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, we would like to congratulate the initiative from the Philippine Red Cross and their approach towards volunteers and volunteerism. The Philippine Red Cross and the 143 program proved very significant during emergencies and disasters. For example, in the disaster Ayan, Mangkut, Bangko, Goni, you were the first responder, communicating and coordinating the situation with the respective communities and barangays, and of course with the COVID-19. All the volunteers were truly committed to providing the appropriate assistance. Dear colleagues, allow me to end by saying or using the words of Chairman Gordon, words that he used recently, where he said, "Where would we be if the Red Cross and Red Crescent was without volunteers?" Being a volunteer gives us courage, gives us strength. It's a way of living. It defines the way we live and our purpose in life. I thank you all for your presence today. I wish you all a great International Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Alberto, for a beautiful message of solidarity. You know, we look at Red Cross and we understand that it is a global cause. And being, like what I said earlier, being part of it really is an honor and a privilege. So thank you so much for everything that you've done with the partnership, and of course for Red Cross as well. And this afternoon, we are fortunate to have the head of the ICRC country delegation give this message for this event. Let us welcome Mr. Boris Michel, the head of the ICRC country delegation.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues, dear friends. I will put my glasses. Chairman Gordon and members of the PRC Board of Governors, Secretary General Elizabeth Zavala, staff members of the PRC headquarters, chapter staff, and the volunteers nationwide. That's your day today. Dear colleagues from the movement, partners and guests, a pleasant good afternoon to you all. On behalf of the ICRC, I want to express how honored I am to be invited today to celebrate a special day. Today, 5th of December, marks the International Volunteers Day, an annual celebration to recognize people all around the world who dedicate their precious time and efforts to voluntary service. Through its global and independent networks of millions of volunteers, the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement is committed to providing relevant and timely service to vulnerable communities now and into the future. Whether natural or man-made disasters, armed conflicts, or health and social care issues, Red Cross and Red Crescent volunteers are there to help. Guided by our fundamental principles, we mobilize the power of humanity to save lives and relieve suffering. We celebrate the bravery and achievements of our volunteers, whose life-saving and life-changing services ensure that we keep our commitment to humanity every day. We are local and international, independent and neutral, and together we are unstoppable. Wherever and whenever there is a crisis, there is a Red Cross or Red Crescent volunteer ready to support those affected. Their commitment never wavers and their compassion has no limits. They are unstoppable. Last year was indeed a very challenging year for the Philippines due to the COVID-19, and the uncertainty of the pandemic put most of us in a standstill, but not the Red Cross movement volunteers. They were unstoppable during that time. In your country, in the Philippines, you have indeed an unstoppable national society that will be celebrating next year its 75th years of existence as the Philippine Red Cross. Congratulations to you. The PRC is and shall remain the primary operational partner of the International Committee of the Red Cross, the ICRC, in the Philippines. The dynamic cooperation and collaboration with the PRC, especially with its volunteers in the field and in the capital, allows us to work and to ensure we respond more efficient and more meaningful for those people in need. The challenges and complexities of humanitarian response in this country made extremely important that the components of the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement combine their strength and establish a strong collective identity to meet the humanitarian needs. Working together provides an opportunity to highlight how complementarity engagement creates innovation and delivers results. Finally, my last word can only be addressed to the hundreds of thousands of PRC volunteers who are always working. As principal volunteers, you have unlimited energy and passion. As you seek your voice, as you write your own story, as someone who is part of the Red Cross family, think and talk about how you can help and support those who have been left further behind due to conflict, due to disasters, due to this pandemic. And have the courage to share your stories with the rest of the world. To the PRC volunteers all over the country, our deepest respect for your commitment and devotion. Once again, thank you for the honor for being with you here today. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Boris, for your inspirational message and appreciating our volunteers, not only in peacetime, but also those who have remained committed in responding to crises, emergencies, disasters, and of course now, the pandemic. And hearing the heartwarming messages from our partners, the PRC, under the leadership of Senator Richard Gordon, gives values to every contribution of our volunteers in delivering life-saving measures. Because we all know that hope begins with the Philippine Red Cross. And as part of this program, the team prepared a video that will show the dedication and commitment of every volunteer, no matter what we do, as long as we put our heart in the spirit of humanity. Let's all watch this. All right, let's give a round of applause. Is this a little bit yet? Yeah, all right. All right, so now, of course, I'm sure you guys are all excited to hear from this man, the leader, and of course, the man behind the Philippine Red Cross. I know many of you follow his lead, many of you are inspired by him, as am I. And you know, he's just dedicated his life compassionately and has given all of himself to the betterment of the Filipino people. He wanted to make sure that there was a culture of respect and dignity in everything we all do. He's a man in action and a person who is always present. As you guys saw in the videos, he's always there, he's always present. Can I just share a personal story? When I hosted his birthday, he was in the hospital because he had COVID. And the first thing in his mind was, I want to get out of here and I want to help people. I want to do my job. And that really inspired me and showed me the kind of dedication that this man has. I guess there's no other word to say than just to welcome our chairman and our CEO, Senator Dick Gordon.
the man in action.
Thank you, God. I can remove my mask because we're outdoors. And hopefully the variant isn't here yet. But most masks have been vaccinated. I would like to welcome our friends here sa IFRC. Una, bagong-bago ito. Kakaganda nila dito sa atin. Mga iba kundi si Alberto Bocanegra. Yan. And of course, ang kaibigan nagluto sa akin ng isang gabi ng raclette. Ako, dami namin kinain ng raclette. Ano ba yung raclette? Ganito kalaki yung peso. Tapos iniinit sa ibabaw. Tapos tinaahitan habang kumakanta siya na, aahitan kita. Yan. At lalagay niyo sa platito. At lalagay ng paminta at saka paprika. Nakakasarap. Thank you, Boris, and thank you, Sabrina, for me. It was a great, one of those rare times when I felt really comfortable and happy because I was among friends, my brothers in the Red Cross from ICRC, and also ngayon, dito naman tayo IFRC. And you know what makes me happy today? You see all these young people, all these fresh faces. Tumayo muna kayo para una. Stretch out. Pakita kayo. Di ba kayo nakakaintindi nung stretch out pag inat kayo? Yan. Alright? And palakpakan nyo yung mga kasama natin all over the Philippines. And si Governor George Lin. George, kumuhay ka. Di Homa. Ayaw niya.
Tatay ko yan.
Ayan, di kayo? Magkainis tayo. Diyan lang sila. And in the future, because of our capabilities in the Red Cross now, we will show our society and we will invite all the other societies to watch what we do in the whole world. Nakikita tayo dito all over the country, all over the other countries. Yan. Gulo pa lang ng buko. Kukunti na lang dito. Gulo pa. Alright. Today, we have a very special day for all of us. Andyan sila si Bin Laden, tawag sa kanya si Bin Laden. Pero mabait ito, si Bin Laden. Tiga Canada siya, pero galing siya sa, is it Croatia or Slovenia? Austria. I was right the first time. Bosnia. Sa kanila dati, magulo. May Bosnia, Herzegovina, Croatia. Then the war there. And I'm glad that there's peace already in that area. The other thing that I want to tell you here is our hardworking Secretary General Mrs. Zavalla. Nakakagyan ng magtrabaho kasama niya ang sinusunod rin ng kanyang pag-uugali at may nagkatrabaho. At ang ating kaibigan dito na alam nyo, hindi tayo kinuha ng Spanish Red Cross ng araw. Hindi tayo pinapansin. Hindi na po Takluso here during the 400 years of staying here. Naughty. But not just to show you that the Filipinos wanted to be in the Red Cross. Aguinaldo, Mabini, they sent to Geneva our people to try and be members of the Red Cross. But of course, we were not independent yet, so we could not have our own Philippine Red Cross. But you saw a while ago, andyan yung American Red Cross. So when the Americans came here, naglagay sila ng American Red Cross Philippine Chapter. Can I have a picture, please? Sasalita kayo dyan, magtrabaho kayo dyan para makita natin yung mga tao dito. Ayan. Puro forma. Sige. Wala. Sinabi ko na kay Apina kanina yan. So, lumalabas, makita nyo may mga ambulansya tayo ng araw ng mga 1905. American Red Cross Philippine Chapter. Nakita nyo na kanina. So, in 1947, Athena, I told you that earlier. In 1947, we became a national society. Kita niya, no? Yan ang kalagay. Philippine Chapter, American Red Cross. Yan ang kanilang sasakyan ng araw. Andiyan si Aida, yun yung baby. Si Aida Beltear. Ayan siya. Ayan. And then you can see another Marami yan, marami yan. Isa, nakakalabaw pa eh. Kung kumuha ng binigyan ako ng likato, ganun sila ka-respeto sa atin. Binigyan ng likato ng Philippine chapter ng American Red Cross. Ang ambulansya natin noon, nagkakarga kalabaw. Yan, kalabaw. Of course, hindi na naman naihanda, okay lang yan. Itsatsaka ako na lang yan. Nagtitiis na lang ako dito sa aking ginagawa dito. You know, kaya ako ginagaling yan. Kanina pinapanood ko kayo. You're all, yan, ayun yung kalabaw. Kita nyo? Can you see the Carabao? You can take a picture. There's a American Red Cross headquarters and you have a Carabao there, a Kalabaw. Yan. Bira na makakita ito mga taga-syudad ng Kalabaw. Yan. But there you go, Chapter Philippine Red Cross. Kita nyo? Ayan. So you see, we go back a lot of ways. Kanina pinapanood ko kayo at you're mouthing slogans. Ginawa ko yung pinaghirapan ko yan, ha? Yung predict. Tuturo ko sa inyo. Sa lahat ng buhay, kailangan marunong kayo mag-predict. Pati mga anak nyo, turuan nyo. Predict, hindi nyo makakalimutan yan. Dahil kapangalan ko, Predict Gordon. Predict, di ba? Abangan nyo, anong susunod na kabanata. And then, nagpaplano kayo, you plan. And then you prepare kung ano kakailanganin nyo, and then you practice. If you do not practice it, you will forget it. Ayan. Yan ang unang tinuro ko rito to make us a foremost humanitarian organization. Isipin nyo, arami nyo, ano yung sabihin ng chairman sa predict? Tayo, pinakamaraming disaster sa buong mundo. Always top 3 tayo. Top 3 with China, Indonesia, the Philippines is always in the top 3 ng disasters in the world. We have a plethora, a buffet of disasters. Kaya we have to predict and we have to plan. And that's why, ginawa ko, meron tayo, ano ito? B. Lakas yun! Lakas pa ninyo! Ano ba naging isa pa susunod na mundo? That's right. And then ito, ano ito? Tapos, ano ito? Correct. So yan, ginamit niyo yan, you know it means something to you. I don't want you to live here and memorize kayo para nung bata kami. Out of the knife that covers me. What was the ano ba sinabi doon? Hindi namin alam. Hindi namin naiintindihan. So, years from now, you don't have to wait years para maintindihan nyo kung ano ang philosophy natin, anong culture natin dito. Dinagdagan ko pa, yung 5 F's. Ano yung unang F? Lakas pa ninyo. Lakas pa ninyo. And then? Fast. And then? Ready. Yan, dapat naiintindihan tayo. Kasi kung di kayo naiintindihan, hindi alam naman, tinutulungan nyo kung anong ginagawa nyo. Kala nyo, politiko kayo. Friendly means they can understand how to get blood. They will understand what you do when you distribute help and relief. But we have to have a procedure na kailangan hahanapin natin yung most vulnerable. That means you have to be friendly. You have to understand that. And then you have to be flexible. Isa, katulad ko, nasa Samar kami, lalakad kami nung taga-Australia. Samar ba yun? Samar, no? And then Lumindol, there was an earthquake. And we were addressing a typhoon in Samar and Leyte at that time. Lumindol, ang lakas, yun pala, nagkagima-gima na sa Bohol. Alright? So, agad-agad tayo. And then, just a few weeks later, tinamaan tayo ng Yolanda. So you had several disasters at the same time. So you have to be flexible. You have to know right away. Have we planned? Mabuti ginawa ko na yung logistics at saka information technology because we came right away with a humanitarian caravan. Walang pier, nasira. Walang airport, walang makalanding. So we had to take a caravan. And the ICRC took off from Davao. We took off from Manila and we met in Leyte. Hinarang pa ang ICRC doon sa bandang Leyte at nagradyo pa ako, do not block, huwag nyo agawin. Yan yung humanitarian caravan natin. That is why Red Cross flew very, very high in Yolanda. Ayan. So today, nakita nyo, we practice what we say. We're always flexible. We're always forward-looking. We know what's going to be in the next situation. So, may nag-i-speech kasi doon, kaya gusto kong pakinggan yung nag-i-speech doon para makapagpatuloy. Para makinggan ko, wala akong mamimiss. Di ba? Ganun lang yan. Anyway, to make a long story short, palapakan nyo ako na si Gabi. Ito yung worthy son of good parents. Si Gabi, ayan tayo. We must be the foremost. Gary is the foremost performer. Now he has a son, and following in his footsteps, I'm sure he doesn't have to be a singer or a dancer. He can be anything he wants, right? You can be anything that you want. After all, sabi nga naman ba, tatabi ang mundo kung alam nyo kung saan kayo pupunta. Kaya ito ngayon, nandito tayo ngayon, binabagay ko sa inyo, itong mga slogan natin, yan ay kultura yan. Talaga nakalagay na sa atin yan para dapat, alam nyo, ito pinapasa nyo. So where are we today? Our International Volunteers Day. Ginawa ni Cory Aquino. You know, not too long ago before she did that, I was in Subic. November 24 was a turnover of the American base, the Philippine base, na pinahiram namin sa Amerikano. And then all of a sudden, pinatubo yung struck, nag-iba lahat, at then pinaalis pa natin ang peso. I had to be flexible. Pero nakaplano na ako, I was forward-looking. Papasok kami dun sa Subic, kailangan hindi mawawala. Kasi pag naiwala, natandaan nyo, anong ginawa ko kanina? Pinakailaman ko kayo. Mahina ang kanta ninyo, why wala yung kanta ninyo sa national anthem. Kumarap ko sa inyo, sabay-sabay tayo, I led the singing, gumanda ang kanta. Ganon rin, papasok ako sa base, ayoko nanakawin ng ating mga kababayan, yung iniwan ng Amerikano, and because of the volunteers, at talaga nag-volunteer sa Subic, believe you me, lahat ng klaseng volunteer, meron sa Amerika, meron sa London, may sa Scotland, may sa Spain, they came from all over, Filipinos, and even foreigners, volunteered in Subic because they were excited. It's like Peace Corps, American Peace Corps before. And that's why we succeeded in Subic. Walang makakatalo. It became the model for base conversion. Today, our Red Cross is the model for volunteerism. We have 143. 2 million volunteers. Papakita ko na sa inyo kung naihanda na. Ano ba si Athena? Athena, are you ready? Ha? O, ayan. O, ayan. Ito niya. Nakita niyo na ba yan? Yan ang mga volunteers natin. Kung ituturo nyo yung blue doon, I believe that's Leyte or sa bandang, ayun, ano ba yan? Leyte ba yun? Ano yan? Ayan. Makikita nyo, may volunteer tayo dyan. Kulang sa prediction ito. Di alam kung saan yan, kung Leyte o lahat. Ayan, sige. Ayan. Ayan lahat siya. Ayan, Northern Samar. Ayan. May mga volunteer tayo, may mga tao tayo. Kanina, I was trying to get the attention of Boris and Alberto, para makita niya, we are everywhere. Our chapters are watching us. Walang pa kanya yung mga chapters natin all over the country. So you see, remember you see, ayan, may mga pangalan tayo, alphabetical order pa. So kung magkakagulo, tatawagan natin yan, gagalaw yan, katulad nung nag-iba yung the great earthquake of Northern Luzon, Balatuan, Pangasinan, all the way to Baguio. Unang-una doon, ang ating Red Cross, si Dick Gordon, governor pa ng Red Cross noon. Tatulungan natin, ang dami natin niligtas. At may mga litrato yan. Sinama ko yung mga Amerikano sa maganda yung mga gamit sila. Anyway, to make a long story short, makita nyo, kayo ay leader. Ayan, no? 1990, killer earthquake in Baguio. Kinuha ko lahat sa mga tao dyan na tiga Manila, tiga Olongapo, tiga Zambales. Kinuha ko lahat ang jeepney kulay blue ng Olongapo, inakit ko doon sa taas, binaba natin. Mga volunteer yun, wala akong binayaran doon. They brought down all the people, the parents were worried, earthquakes kept going on in Baguio and we brought them down. Ito yung kamanatuhan earthquake. Ayan. Yung mga yan, yung katabi ko, yan ang tigasuot ko. Ayan, ganyan yan, nag-pancake. Pag-akit nyo, makikita nyo, panay buhok ng mga estudyante na naipit. We went up there. We were there. We were there. And that's why I swore na hindi pwede ang Red Cross walang gamit. That is why today we have rescue trucks. We have, if I'm not mistaken, how many? 6 ba? 5 rescue trucks. We have in Caloocan. Where's Caloocan? Di ba nandun yung rescue truck? So, ayun, wala ko naman kayo dyan. Kaya mga rescue truck natin, may ilaw na sarili yan. Sa Batangas, we have Dito sa Manila, we have them. In Cebu, in Iloilo, they have their own rescue truck. Sumusunod sila. So nakikita nyo, I had to do that because mahirap pag may disaster and you have nothing. And then at night, we have no lights. So meron tayong ilaw dyan sa truck na yan at bumili pa ako ng light so we can work at night. Again, you have to predict. Kagabi, wala kayong gagamitin. At wala kayong gamit. Meron tayong mga concrete cutters. Ayan, ayun mga ilaw. Ayan, nakikita nyo. Ayan. So you see, nag-practice pa yung mga yan. So makukuha natin. Meron pang TV camera, napapasok sa butas kung may naiwan doon sa ilalim. We can see if they're still alive and they can talk to us. See? Alam nyo, pwede kong pakita sabihin, oy, meron pala tayo yan. No, you have to know what it means para alam niyo pagka kailangan nyo. Tumagal ko sa shelter, kailangan natin ng rescue truck dito. Huwag na kayo maghintay. Correct? How are you? Yes! There you go. Yan. Kita nyo. Kaya nakikita ko sa noon yun. Yung kasama ni Almira. Yan. Almira, kaway man. Kaway, Almira. Hoy, galain ba? Oh. Kasalo. Ayan, kita nyo? Ano-ano. So, nakikita ninyo, we have all this today, and I will now conclude and say this. It is a privilege. It is a privilege. It is an honor to be a volunteer of the Red Cross. And you don't need me to tell you, it is an honor. Because kusang loob yan. Nobody pointed a gun at me to put all these things up. Right? Nobody put it there. Right? Kayo, nandito kayo, nagpo-volunteer kayo, kusang loob. At ang nangyayari ay, we are always ready, correct? So lahat ng mga yan, volunteers yan. So we have nothing to be ashamed of. Even if they do not recognize you, when you appear in the mirror, sarap na salamin. Kilala nyo kung sino kayo. We don't need a president of the republic. We don't need anybody to tell you. Galing mo. Nakalagay nga doon sa volunteer, we don't expect anything in return. That is part of our fundamental principle. Nothing in return. And we do that. And look at how much we've grown. Why is it a privilege today? As I speak, we're giving water to a penitentiary in Panabo, Davao. That is the third time this year that we've sent water trucks. Alam niyo si BK, wala siyang water truck ng araw. Magdadala lang tayo ng jerrycan. Ayun, o yan, may bladder tayo. Meron tayong water tank. Kompleto tayo sa gamit, right? So, lahat tayo, we have 20 and thanks to Miladen na kinumbisi ko, hindi niyo kung ako magdala ko, bibigyan ako ng 8 million pesos ni Miladen. Sabi ko, no Miladen, I will not take that. That's a waste of money. And he agreed and he went to Canada. We can buy 4 water tankers there instead of 1 brand new one. So we have another 4 water tankers. That's what you call, and I know you know that, leadership means knowing what you need. Doesn't have to be a Lamborghini, katulad doon sa Nadargani, may Lamborghini, inipis na loob, may Porsche. We don't need that. Ano, kayo ngayon lahat may pick-up kayo. Meron kayong Toyota Land Cruiser. Ginagamit natin sa Red Cross. Kung nagpunta ako sa Basilan in the year 2000, pakita nyo nga, umakit ako ng bundok, pinitap yung mga bata doon, yung mga kinidap ng Abu Sayyaf. I went up to Maluso. My wife was livid. Galit na galit sa akin, inakit namin yan. Ayan, nakita nyo yun. Ipakita nyo yung dalawang bata. Yun, yung dalawang bata yan. Koba. Ayan. Iyo, pakitulong mo nga yung dalawang bata sa kaliwa. Elvis. Ayan. Tulong mo yung dalawa. Ayan. Hindi ni-rescue na Dicordo yan. Masyado sip-sip yung gumagawa nito. Rescued by PRC chair. PRC. We were there. And now, look at that. That was 2017. They went to see me in the Senate. Sir, salamat sa inyo. Buhay kami. And we now have work. Oh, di ba? Nobody needs to tell you how good you are. They will come to you. And the next time, alam niyo, muli na yan. Alam nila, Chef Conolete, naghiligisin pa ng madaling araw. At all time. Pag may nangihingi ng dugo, anybody can call Big Gordon. I give my number to everybody. That's my job. Because kung isa, pinipilit ko si Bonina na gawin na natin yung access sa blood. Malapit na natin magawa yan. Babaguhin natin ang telepono natin dito sa headquarters. So, if you're in Sulu, you just call a number 143 and we will send you blood in Sulu. We will send you blood in Basilan. We will send you anywhere. Dito na ito yung chapter. Why? Because isipin mo, kung kayo lumawa na sa PGH, mahirap kayo. Nag-iingalo yung asawa nyo, kailangan tulong. Hahanap pa kayo na sasakyan para kuha ng dugo. We will deliver the blood. We will deliver the blood. That's what's going to happen. Now, in the next few weeks, we're going to deliver that. Para, alam natin, we alleviate human suffering. It is not an empty slogan. Pinapawi mo yung kahirapan ng tao. Huwag ka na pumunta dito. Gagawin namin yan. Eh, huwag naman yung sasabihin, bakit may bayad? Eh, siyempre, pabayaran natin yung doktor, yung nurse, yung medtech, pabayaran natin yung kuryente. Alam mo yung presidente nyo, simple-minded eh. Ang problema niya, akala niya, kapagwapo siya. Eh, bibigyan niya tayo ng pera, ibibigyan. Tinutukan ba tayo ng baril para yung mahirap, hindi makakuha ng dugo? Naglagay tayo ng Blood Samaritan Program, right? Yung mga kaibigan ko, magbigay ka ng pera dyan, you can get blood for free if you're poor. We do not want our people to be pingi. Yung kamay na nangihingi, palaging mababa sa kamay na nagbibigay. Kaya alipin pa tayo hanggang ngayon. Because hindi natin tinuturuan ang ating mga tao na mag-volunteer at para sa ganun, kaya nila makatulong sa sarili nila at sila na ang tutulong sa ibang tao in the future. They will be able to help others. Going on, gets you? Can't hear you? Yeah. So, ayan, you are representing of Metro Manila. But the rest of our countrymen are there. Doon sa mga probinsya. Look at Soda. You're privileged to be in the Red Cross. Wala kayong sweldo like me. Wala akong sweldo rito. But I'll tell you, aren't you happy? Kapag kailangan ng tubig, may tubig. Nalalason yung mga tao, nabibigyan natin ng tubig, ina-injection natin. We have that capability now. Aren't you happy pag kami disgrasya? Una kaagad ang Red Cross, ambulansya. We brought about 6,000 people to hospitals, only 1,000 paid and 5,000. Ayan, makikita nyo. Ayan, no? O, ayan. 2020, 7,335, 75, ambulance run, nagbayad ang 1,840. Ang 5,561. See? Alam nyo, kahit sabihin ko yan, magsisinungaling pa yung mga naiinggit sa inyo. That is why, tumayo ako dito kanina, alamin nyo kung ano ibig sabihin ng slogan, alamin nyo kung bakit tayo may ambulansya. Alam nyo? Kita nyo? Kita nyo? Gets nyo? O, yan, para alam niyo na, pag lumabas tayo, tayo pinakamarami. Pag kami may bumbero tayo. There's no business running a fire truck. We do have a fire truck. We do have water tankers pag naubos sa tubig. Wala namang fire hydrant dito sa Manila. We can bring our fire trucks with water tankers. We can have hoses. Ayan. Ayan, mga bata natin nasa sunog. Yung ganyan. Nung nasunog yung PGH, tayo na andon. Nung natapos yung sunog, next day, tayo pa rin. Because hindi makahinga yung mga tao sa amoy ng usok. Dinala ko ang gamit natin doon kasama ng mga volunteers who has been made. Sinip-sip yung amoy ng sunog at nawala. Ayan o, yan yung mga dinala natin. Galing sa atin yan, sa circles. May gamit kayo. Again, ano yun? Forward looking. Forward looking. Planning. We have all that. Naintindihan nyo? Pag natapos sa kulito, you can go anywhere and describe what we do in the Red Cross. This is on our international volunteer day. Wala sweldo yung mga yan. So, ayan yung mga fire trucks natin. So, makikita rin yan. When you start looking, why are you privileged? Sino ang pinakamaraming bahay na nagawa na walang bayad na bahay? Philippine Red Cross. Bakit? Believe sa atin ang lahat, ang ICRC, IFRC, they believe and trust us. They provide us with money. We provide the volunteers. We get the people, the beneficiaries based on standards. And we're giving them homes. And today, we have built 151,000. Mga bahay. May solar power pa sa France. Binigyan ng French Red Cross. Kaya, ayan ang barangay Merda. Ayan. Makikita nyo, ayan yung perang binigay ng German Red Cross. 194 houses sa barangay Cabo Dula. Ayan ang litrato. May pangalan pa yung may-ari. Hindi binusa ang pera. Pinagawa ang mga bahay. Kaya tuwa-tuwa ang mga bahay. to Leyte, you can go to Samar, you can go to Bohol, you can go to Cebu, Sabado na Sulok. You can go to Red Cross, you can go to Palawan, you can go to Ilocos, you can go to Central Luzon, you can go to Mindanao. Recently, we put up homes doon sa General sa Magsaysay, sa Davao del Sur. We have built homes in Don Pablo, in Davao Oriental. We were there. We put up an X-ray there. Emergency na nasira na nagibala itong bagyo. So, the Red Cross has a terrific record. You know, do you think it happened that way? Kung hindi nyo ako bibigyan ng gana, if you people are timid, umaasa kayo, kaya bayan natin mahina because palaasa. Dito sa Red Cross, ginagawa natin, pag nakikita ko kayo, lumalakas sa loob ko, naghahanap ako para magamitan kayo ng inyong kasiyahan na nakakatulong kayo sa kapwa. Para kayong prayer descending nations. Teach me to be generous. Teach me to serve thee as thou deservest, to give and not to count the cost. Hindi tayo nabibilang. Binibigay natin lahat. You know, there are so many things. May mga eskwela tayo. We build schools. Kaya marami eskwela doon. Ang unang nagtayo na eskwela sa Yolanda, tayo. Magbibigay ng China sa atin ng mga bahay. Sabi, 50,000 room. Sabi ko, not going to accept it. Bibigyan tayo kasi laki ng kulungan ng aso. Lata. And I told him, I'm not accepting. Natakot sila. Ayun yung mga eskwela. Ayun yung eskwela natin. Unang-unang eskwela yan. Nung ginawa natin yan, tuwa-tuwa. Ayan, si Miss Sang. Kaibigan ko yan sa Chinese Red Cross. Ayan, Hong Kong yan. Nagbigay ng silya. Ako rin, nagbigay ng mga silya dyan. Tayo lahat. At wala silang simento sa lupa. Ginamit natin yung mga payloader natin. Makikita nyo yung payloader natin dyan. At makikita nyo, tayo ang nagsimento. We put cement on the floor so that the children will have no mud on their shoes. Ayan. Kita nyo? Oh. Ayan. So the long and the short of it, ayun, nakikita nyo yung payloader sa kanto. Atin yan. Pinatag natin yan. We don't wait. Ayan. Ayan yung payloader natin. Kita nyo? Payloader natin yan. Pinatag natin yan. So hindi tayo nakahuli. Pumunta tayo sa Catanduanes, giba yung karsada, hindi tayo makapasok. Dala natin ang payloader. Pumunta tayo sa Catanduanes, walang telepono, walang communication. We brought generators. And we brought what? A satellite system where we can call the whole world and the people were able to call their relatives all over the world from Catanduanes. And we brought our ship there. Kutuwa-tuwa yung mga bata ron, nung makita na yung barko. Ayan, napunta na sa Catanduanes, si Amazing Grace. Ayan. Hindi nyo sasayo sa mga bata dyan, they see hope. Paglabas pa yan, iluluwa niyan yung mga sasakyan, mga jeep, mga pagkain, non-food items. Ayan, andyan lahat. Australian Aid. Ayan, IFRC, andyan lahat. We bring the goods, we deliver it, and we succeed because of the volunteers. We have motorcycles that we gave them. Lahat para maggamit, hindi para pagyabang. So you see, this is your Red Cross. We have traveled a long way, and when we take over something, pakikita ninyo, kaya natin. Totoo, hindi? Yeah! Sabi sa Bisaya, tuod man? Tuod! Yan. So, marami pa tayo masasabi. Ay, hindi na ako magpapakahaba dahil sinasabihin ko sa inyo lahat. Ito, sinulat na namin kagabi. What is ahead of us? Nakita ko sa pandemic. Hindi tayo tatanga-tanga. Tinuturo ko sa inyo lahat yan. He who reads, leads. Ako mahilig magbasa. Nakita ko yung nangyari noong 1916, 1917, 1918. The Great Pandemic. Kawawa ang mga kaibigan natin Kastila. They called it the Spanish flu. It did not come from Spain. It came from Kansas in America. But only Spain was honest to say, kasi nagigera nung araw, ayaw nila sabihin ng Germans, ayaw nila sabihin na may sakit doon, ayaw sabihin ng mga French, ayaw sabihin ng English na mayroon silang sakit. Ang naglakas sa loob, neutral Spain. Sabi, we have, and that's why they called it Spanish flu. That is wrong. Walang Spanish flu. That was the first pandemic involving flu, not Spanish flu. And it killed at least 50 million people. I learned from that, and that is why ngayon, meron tayong gamit, meron tayong mga tent. We can always put up tents. We put up how many tents, Lisa? Over 100, right? Over 111 or 112, if I'm not mistaken, nilalabas natin sa mga hospital para may tutungan yung mga tao. We put up a hospital right behind itong lung center, and in NKTI, we had hospital wing there by the Red Cross. Ayan. Yan yung mga hospital natin, nakahilera, Red Cross. And you people, our volunteers were there to help. And that is why you ought to be proud. You must remember all this. Ayan. Kita nyo, nagsimula yan sa Laguna. Aliit ditong hospital, they had the typhoid epidemic, I was there. Sabi ko, bukas meron kayong hospital. Sabi sa akin ng tiga-DOE, sa yabang nitong politiko ito, next day, nag-apologize siya because Governor Nocon, who was ROTC head of the South Manila, I told him, magtayo tayo, tumawag ka ng volunteer natin, kinayo namin yung hospital na wala na yung mga tao sa pasilyo. We walk our talk. Ginauna ang salita, ginagawa muna natin bago tayo dumating. So doon sa laboratory namin, we put up molecular, you know how much ang molecular laboratory cost ba ano? Lisa, di ba 35 million? Ha? Completed test kits, 35 million. We get $5 million worth of test kits every month. Alam niyo ba yan? Di sa guni-guni ko, di ko akalain makakayanan kong mag-advance na ng pera na $5 million para madala dito. And now we're testing. And guess what? You should be proud because number 1 ang Red Cross sa testing. Ayan, tingnan mo. 5,024,138 since 14 April. Ayan o, Detoxicare 1,201. Hindi ako nakikipag-compete. But you know, if we did not test, maraming namatay. If we did not test, kukunti ang magtetest. Nakita lang maganda palang negosyo. Yung iba nag-negosyo. Kaya nagkaroon ng maraming testing laboratory. But we are not for profit. Binabalik natin yan at babalik natin yan sa tinutulungan natin yung mga hospital natin, yung mga tent, yung mga kama, lahat bago. Pakita nyo yung isolation test natin nandyan. Ang gaganda pa ng kama, kompleto sa oxygen, kompleto sa gamit. And, para masabi ko sa inyo, in front, ayan, yung mga gamit natin. Kita nyo? May double deck, meron tayong bagong mga kama. Ayan, at hindi basta-basta, meron nakalagay, Red Cross, para alam nila, ginagawa natin ang kompletong gamit. Okay ba sa inyo yan? Yes! Okay. Ayan, hindi ko natin may ipakita pag may sakit, bawal. Pero yan, ginagamit yan. So makita na yan. What's next in store for us? That is a tent. I talked with my classmate, Dr. Benji Alimurong, who was head of Makati Medical Center. Benji, I land in Marikina. Gusto kong magtayo ng hospital. I think it's time. Japanese have 80 hospitals they inherited in World War II from their army. And they have about 80 hospitals. We intend, and I ask ICRC to listen and IFRC to listen and all of you to listen. We intend to put up our own hospital in our land, and we will have a medical school. So we will forever have doctors, we will have nurses, so we will forever supply nurses, that we can supply not only this country, but we can go as Philippine Red Cross when they have a Nepalese earthquake, and we can send them there, and we can work with the ICRC and IFRC, and we can send as we do now. Cathy Martin, I just talked with her. She's in Malaysia, she's going back to Geneva. Si Busha, ano kaya ni Busha? Nasa Bangladesh. Si Resti, naiwan na yung pinangalan ko sa kanya. Andun siya. Oh. Lahat yan, nandyan. So makita nyo, we can do that. Hindi ko inuuna yan, pero we will do that. And, bukod dyan, we are going to also make sure na ang dami nating hospital. Misa, kinakapos ang bayan ng doktor. Kapos ang bayan natin sa doktor. We will provide scholarships for the doctors and the nurses. We will ask my friends to sponsor a doctor, 11 doctors, 20 doctors. I will have somebody sponsor as a donation to the Red Cross. He will put up that doctor so that when he graduates, we will have doctors in our hospitals at any time, and we can bring them. They will be ambulatory everywhere in the country, and if necessary, in the whole world. So that's where we're headed now. Kusang loob, malasakit at kapwa-tao. Ulitin nyo nga yan? You have to have courage. Tapang tayo. Hindi tayo natatakot. You have to have commitment. And you must know that there must be continuity at all times. Hindi tayo gagawa lang tapos iiwanan natin. So sa madaling sabi, we will not stop there. And we are going to have we're headed for the 75th year. 75th year. Alright? Yung Ateneo celebrate ng 75th year recently, if I'm not mistaken. 150th year. Yeah, that's right. The Red Cross has celebrated 158 years since 1863. We have been around the world as the foremost humanitarian organization. All over the world, we have chapters and societies, and we have 158. And, you know, I asked Boris, do you have a plane? Yes, we have planes. Sabi niya gano'n. One of these days, pagbili ko yung barko, bumili tayo ng aeroplano na makakapagkarga para mauna tayo palagi. Nothing is impossible. And the more we work, the more people cooperate with us. So that's where we're headed, folks. Papunta tayo dyan, kayo mga nasa probinsya, kayo mga nasa iba't ibang chapter. That's where we're going. We will make sure. And you see, when we put up this building, everybody said, wow, we never thought we could put up a building. Everybody was incredulous. When I put up the back door, isa likod, naging molecular laboratory ito lang ngayon. Dati dyan tayo nagpa-party, dyan tayo nag-training. Ngayon, molecular laboratory, dyan tayo nagbabakuna. My gosh. Ngayon, we are going to have more than that. Ayan, we're going to have all the hospitals. Miss Universe, Miss International, nadadala ko when I go abroad. Dahil guwapo tayo. Hindi pala sa abroad, dito lang. Guwapo ang Red Cross, hindi ako. Alright? So, masasabi ko sa inyo today, as we, move towards 2022, April 15, put your head high. Look beyond the horizon. And take your mind, your sharp mind, your dedication, your courage into making sure that we can dream, but we will not make our dreams our masters. We can make our dreams come true. Alright? Di tayo mga nag-inip lamang. No, gagawin natin lahat yan at nagawa na natin. Like this building, like yung ambulansya nyo. 175 ambulances. Yung mga water tankers. Dati-dati, nahihirapan tayo, magpapakain ka doon sa kwan, di ba, baby? Ngayon, pagka nagkasulog sa Maynila, automatic, dapat, baby, mga chapters inyo, magpadala kayo ng hot meals doon sa mga nasunugan na nawala ka nilang damit. We can provide them with clothes. So, your Red Cross provides everything, from shoes, to clothes, to water, to food, to medical attention, to medical tests for hospital, and everything like that. We are able to do that. I started with the food truck. Inuna ko sila, baby, sa Manila. Karak-karak second hand. Now they're all brand new. They're all brand new. Di ba? Nagbigay rin ako sa Quezon City. Now you have brand new one. Ayan o. Pipila dyan. Maglalagay tayo ng lamesa. Nakapila yung tao. Sandok lang na sandok. At hindi lang sabaw. Dapat maglalagay tayo dyan ng lechon pagka nabuhay na lahat. Hindi naman lechon kagad. Alright? So ladies and gentlemen, my fellow volunteers, a proud volunteer stands before you today. We are one. Ginawa kong kanta. We are one and we stand together. When it seems all hope is gone. Pag wala nang pag-asa, nandiyan pa Red Cross. And we will always be there. We will never run out of energy, of spirit, and drive. And we will continue. There are many more volunteers. And we will train already. Si Bud, alin nga dito, maglalagay na siya ng signal. Kung kayo nag-training ng first aid, sa uniform nyo, ilalagay dyan. Training kayo ng first aid. Andiyan ba yan? Wala. O, lagot ka ba maya sa akin? Bubugbugin kita. Dapat meron na nakalagay. Kung water train ka, kung PCR, kung ikaw i-train sa first aid, lalagay nyo sa uniform niyo. Kung 6 na taon ka na, may isang stripe ka. 2 taon na, 12 taon ka na, you have a stripe. 12 years of volunteer. And then pag nakukuha na award, you may wear the Doña Aragon Quezon Award or the silver medal or the gold medal award. We will really make sure that it is not just for the well-to-do in the Red Cross that will get those awards. It will be the ordinary volunteer will get this award. The staff will get that award. And that is an order. I want to change all that right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, ayan na tayo. Kayo mga dyan, kaway naman kayo na dyan. Wave everybody, we're waving at you. Yan, yan. The salute. Ayan, yung mga Board of Governors na nanonood sa atin. Si Governor Andrew Nocon, Governor Loni Kapunan, Governor Danny Yag, bagong-bago. We have many reasons to be proud. Kahit na binabatikos ako ng kaibigan ko na si President Duterte, hindi ako bababa doon sa kanal. Papakita ko lang na nagagawa natin lahat yan. So there you go. Let us take the first steps from here on. And by 2022, April 15, when we became a national chapter, a national society finally. And today, we have become one of the foremost Red Cross societies in the world. We have gotten the respect of many of them. And so today, maraming salamat sa inyong pagsisikap. Alam niyo naman ako, pagkatrabaho. I may sometimes yell, but I'm a cheerleader. I yell. You know? Kung ako, talaga ako cheerleader. Pagka maingay, ang bukulo, tataas ko lang yung kamay ko, dapat tahimik. Paglalaban tayo, I will gather the strength. I will tell them cheer para manalo tayo sa baba. And that is why there is always that sense of urgency and commitment that we must make this country, that have become watchers, that have become spectators, na umaasa sa mga makikislap, pati sa pagboto. Artista, okay lang kung magaling ang artista, boto ninyo, pero kung hindi magaling, panoorin nyo na lang sa sine. At kung meron ng mga nagbibigay ng pera, huwag nyo tanggapin. Ipakita nyo, we don't accept money because it is our country at stake. In the same manner that this Red Cross, when they give us money, you can see who gave it, anong pangalan, anong bahay, ilang bahay ang ginawa, anong ambulansya, anong fire truck. We can account for all of that because we are the Philippine Red Cross. Maraming salamat sa inyo. God bless you all. Abuhay natin.
Again, a round of applause for our chairman and our CEO for such an amazing and passionate message. If there's one word that I would like to say and kind of reflect on to him, it's conviction. And he has been doing this for many years. And I'm very proud to be part of the Philippine Red Cross in whatever way I can, be it mental health, be it on ground. Chairman, we were actually talking already that I'm gonna start training for first aid soon, so I can also be dispatched on ground, and that's something that I really am passionate about as well. So thank you so much for your message, and thank you for showing us what the Philippine Red Cross really is about. And as mentioned earlier, we are enjoyed by our team here and virtually all over the country. And to join us awarding of appreciation, may I request, of course, our Honorable Chairman and CEO Senator Dick Gordon, the Secretary General Elizabeth Zabalia, the Head of ICRC Delegation Mr. Boris Michel, the Head of IFRC Country Office Mr. Alberto Bocanegra, to join us for the awarding of certificates. But first, may I read the citation. This certificate of appreciation is awarded to the volunteers for their invaluable contribution in the campaign launched by the Philippine Red Cross to win our war against the COVID-19 pandemic. Given on this 5th day of November 2021 during the celebration of the International Volunteer Day at Philippine Red Cross Tower National Headquarters, Mandaluyong City. Signed by Senator Gordon, Chairman and CEO, and Ms. Elizabeth Zabalia, Secretary General. Our first contingent, may we call on the volunteers of the Manila chapter to be joined by the chapter administrator, Ms. Crisanta Cayetano. Pasay, please get ready and stand by. Our next team may we call the volunteers of Pasay chapter, along with the chapter head, Ms. Adelina Castillo. For our next set of awardees, from the Caloocan chapter, with Mr. Roberto Douglas.
Caloocan!
Stand by, Quezon City chapter. Our next contingent, may we call on the volunteers of the Quezon City chapter to be joined by the chapter administrator, Ms. Janice Melody Adolfo. May we ask the Marikina chapter to stand by. We call on the volunteers of the Marikina chapter along with the chapter head, Ms. Jennifer De Guzman. May we ask the Rizal chapter to stand by. May we call on the volunteers of the Rizal chapter along with the chapter head, Ms. Ria Rivera, and the head of branches. May we ask the chapter of Malabon to stand by. May we call on the team of Malabon and their chapter administrator, Ms. Julie Legasti. May we ask the Valenzuela chapter to stand by. Our next contingent may be called the team from Valenzuela and their chapter administrator, Mr. Renaldo De Leon.
Akin na. Renalito. Saan?
May we ask the Las Piñas chapter to stand by. Thank you. Our next contingent may we call on the team from Las Piñas and their chapter administrator, Ms. Mary Rose Urbano.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may now be seated. Chairman. Now we are going to be awarding the rest of the awardees that are not able to be here right now virtually. Because you know naman, yung PCR, with the PRC, nobody gets left behind. Am I correct? Now moving on to the next set of awardees, we call on our contingent from Regions 1, 2, and the Cordillera Administrative Region. Please open your video cameras, guys. Makikita kayo. We all see you. Chapters from Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, Alaminos, Batanes, Alcala, Cagayan, Isabela, Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, Santiago City, Abra, Apayao, Baguio, Benguet, Ifugao, Kalinga, and Mountain Province. Thank you, guys. As you can see, nakakatuwa, no? Everybody from all over the country. Hi guys, mag-wave naman kayo. Magkikita kayo. Yan. Our next of virtual awardees, may we request our teams from Region 3, 4A, 4B, and the Bicol region, composed of the following, to open your cameras: Aurora, Bataan, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Olongapo, Pampanga, Tarlac, Zambales,